There is no denying that Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's Galactus has been an essential part of some of the biggest Marvel storylines ever. After all, he is a planet-eating cosmic deity with supreme powers. But our focus for today's video is on something else, someone who is related to the superpowered living entity, of course. The character happens to be a she, first introduced in the second issue of a 2-issue anthology known as Marvel Assistant Size Spectacular in 2009. Well, we are specifically talking about Galacta, the daughter of the mighty Galactus, who happens to be as much of a cosmic powerhouse as her father. Simply put, she could do everything that the infamous World Devourer can, but she chooses to use her powers in the most out-of-the-ordinary way possible. Today's video will be all about her, so without further delay, let's dive into the origins of Galacta, who made her debut appearance in her brief digital-only miniseries, Adam Warren and Hector Sevilla Lujan's Galacta, Daughter of Galactus. Are you ready? Let's roll. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin. Galacta, the daughter of Galactus origin. When we first see her, it is never really explained where she came from or how she came into being. She is seen residing on Earth as a teenage girl and going by the nickname Gali. She even has a social media account, a pretty active one. We find Galacta sitting in a cafe engrossed in her own thoughts where she is explicitly critical of her father, addressing him as a slave to his appetites. She sees her father as a selfish, greedy, unthinking glutton, and while it is true that Galacta, much like her father, also has this audacious appetite for life force energies, she has developed a rather serious affection for Earth and happens to be visibly loving towards all the living beings that the planet is home to. So naturally, with a waiter approaching her to take her order, she sticks to just mineral water despite being hungry, famished, and ravenous at that time. From one of her updates on social media, we as readers learn that Galacta adheres to a very strict regimen, an exotic cuisine to be more precise, which of course we will be talking about a little later. Now, as we move on with the story, we find her visiting hospitals, especially the patients in the isolation wards, and that's when we realize how Galacta actually makes use of her cosmic powers. She uses her exceedingly advanced technology to aid people all across the world by devouring pathogens which are otherwise unknown to human medical science. Coming back to the patients, they happen to be victims of a bacterium spread by the large-scale infestation of Skrulls that have very recently plagued the world. Remember her exotic cuisine that we had mentioned earlier? Well, the hypermutant bacterium turns out to be a microscopic meal for Galacta. Also, falling in the category of her exotic meal happens to be the biosphere killers, or in other words, weaponized thermophile Lithometallivorous, which were once native to a Kree moon. Given that there is certainly no dearth of foreign lifeforms on Earth, it's safe to say that Galacta restricts her diet solely to the non-native organisms that continue to get drawn to the planet's tempting biomass. Furthermore, when she feeds, she chooses to remain cloaked by the power cosmic with the sole purpose of not causing unnecessary alarm amongst humans. But with passing time, Galacta has started facing a bit of difficulty, especially while trying to keep her hunger pangs in check. Unknowingly, she has started analyzing anything and everything that she would see on TV and perceive them as a potential meal. After all, when one happens to be an inherently rapacious, insatiable, and ravenous cosmic omnivore, every element on display looks like the Food Network. Upon realizing that her hunger cravings have gotten exponentially worse, Galacta decides to get herself checked and uses her advanced detection gear to find out the root cause of her problem. To her complete shock, she finds herself infected by an extra-dimensional endosymbiotic energy parasite, a tapeworm cosmic, and realizes that it is the main reason behind her appetite getting intensified and also her power cosmic getting drained in the process. Not knowing what to do, she reluctantly turns to the quantum entanglement comm line and calls her father for help. In the meantime, she continues to make use of her cosmic awareness to locate more alien lifeforms. This is precisely when she bumps into Wolverine, whom she finds battling against the extraterrestrial lifeforms. Using her very powers to affect the cosmos around her, or in other words, by stopping time, she takes a good look at the mutant. While the thought of devouring him does cross her mind, she ends up consuming only the aliens around, thereby leaving behind a rather confused Wolverine. Galacta carries on with her consumption of alien lifeforms, and while she does so, she also orbits the beautiful but vulnerable Earth that she is hell-bent on protecting. Her acts of saving the planet include altering the future trajectory of an undetected asteroid, foiling Hydra's release of a weaponized bioagent known as the Dutch Elm Hyperdisease, guiding a senile elder of the universe away from Earth, deflecting away a cosmic ray burst signal, and preventing an antisocial proto-villain nerd prodigy from activating catastrophic strange matter formation, amongst many other things. It's also around the same time that Galacta encounters the God of Thunder, and upon seeing his Mjolnir, the thought of the ultimate weapon crosses her mind. As a result, she ends up approaching the Fantastic Four while being aware of the fact that the superhero team happens to be her father's primary adversary in the hopes of locating the ultimate device which is capable of harming her and her kind. No points for guessing that we are talking about the ultimate nullifier here. Galacta resorts to using her cosmic awareness to discover the location of the nullifier, and after being able to figure out that the nullifier is hidden inside one of Galactus's world ships, which is almost the size of a solar system, she is seen wormholing from one galaxy to another. Once Galacta obtains the ultimate nullifier, she intends to use it on the parasite living inside her. She isn't sure if she will survive the impromptu ultimate nullification surgery, but she knows that she has to take that chance. With Galacta mustering up the courage to go through the process all by herself, she is startled to find her father finally appearing before her. He feeds his daughter from his own far vaster power cosmic. Next, with him opening up his greater cosmic awareness to Galacta, it dawns upon the latter that the tapeworm cosmic actually happens to be a nascent form of cosmic beings like them. Galacta realizes that she was once a similar parasitic meta-organism which had spontaneously generated itself within her father's body's power cosmic field wave. Safe to say, Galacta was pregnant. How powerful is Galacta? By now it should be clear to you that Galacta has the ability to do basically everything that her father is capable of doing. This includes her cosmic awareness, the ability to hide herself from others, or the power of cloaking to be more precise, her ability to teleport beings as well as things through space and time, the ability to control, manipulate, and then channel all forms of energy, influence the element of time, physically alter a person or an object through molecular restructuring, and the ability to levitate herself. Besides, she also has the power of telepathy and telekinesis, and is able to speed up her senses and perception. And let's not disregard the fact that she is very much capable of siphoning the life energy of living organisms along with planets, just like Galactus. Well, for someone who can literally open wormholes, you know she cannot be taken lightly at any cost. What is the weakness of Galacta? Even though she is seen possessing the same powers as her father, her abilities aren't on the same level as Galactus. This obviously makes her a less powerful version of her father. Also, unlike Galactus, who devours literally any planet in order to sustain life, Galacta is strictly against consuming organisms which are native to the planet, and in this case, Earth. As she is mostly seen seeking out extraterrestrial life forms to satisfy her hunger, this leaves her gnawingly hungry at all times. Marvelous verdict. No wonder that was the last that we see of Galacta, and while her character was meant to make an appearance in the comic book series Fearless Defenders, her part was basically cut from the storyline. Well, that was the origin story of Galacta, and with this, we finally come to the end of our video here. So what do you think of this character? Hit us with your thoughts in the comments section, and stay tuned with us for more exciting content. And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.